Test. Can you hear my voice?
Hey, Wen. Good morning.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's start it. Yes. Oh God.
Yeah. Can you
Can you
guys
hear
hear
my
me
voice?
properly?
Yeah. Yes. That's all right. Yeah.
Uh, about my
Okay.
video.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's. Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me properly?
Yeah. Yes. Om Swastiastu.
Uh, about my
Assalamualaikum
video.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Let's. Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me properly?
Yeah. Yes. Om
Yeah.
Swastiastu.
Wayan, I'm hearing
Assalamualaikum
some echo.
warahmatullahi
Can you do
wabarakatuh.
one thing? Like, can you mute all and maybe
Okay.
we.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Guys hear me properly?
Yes. Om
Yeah.
Swastiastu.
Wayan, I'm hearing
Assalamualaikum
some echo.
warahmatullahi
Can you do
wabarakatuh.
one thing? Like, can you mute all and maybe
Okay.
we.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
I'm hearing some echo. Can you do one thing? Like, can you mute all and I'm hearing some echo. Can you do one thing? Like, can you mute all and maybe we. I'm hearing some echo. Can you do one thing? Like, can you mute all and hearing some echo. Can you do one thing? Like, can you mute all and Hey, Wayne, let me know when we can get started. Okay,
Okay.
I'll
Yes.
I'll take the ball. Uh,
Okay. Om Swastiastu.
hey, Wayne, let me know when we
Assalamualaikum
can get
warahmatullahi
started.
wabarakatuh. Salam
Okay,
sejahtera bagi
I'll
kita
take the ball.
semua. Salam
Okay.
kebajikan. Namo Bu- Namo Buddhaya. Namaste. Om Swastiastu.
Hey, Wayne,
Hello everyone and
let me know when we
welcome
can
to
get
our
started.
webinar. My name is Ismail Sumarjaya and I will be your host during the webinar. I would like to thank the many people from both Indonesia and abroad for their interest in this webinar. There are 258 people registered for this event, both from Indonesia and India. They are students, administrators, and teachers. Before we start our webinar, I would like to introduce our today's presenter. Our presenter is Mr. Famsi Gai, a certified technical product owner and program manager at Boeing. He has a master's degree in applied computing from the University of Central Arkansas, USA. He has held various positions in companies such as Kusalava Motors, IBM, Tachyon Technologies, Microsoft Corporations, and Nissan Motor Corporations. His major professional skills include, but not limited to, product management, process improvement, strategic leadership, cloud computing, software development, enterprise architecture, project management, application security, business process management, business intelligence, and ETL, team building, and real-time analytics. He has earned various certifications such as a certified Scrum Master or CSM, a certified ASAFE practitioner, and a certified Scrum Product Owner or CSPO. This webinar is also streamed on YouTube, so in case you have difficulties in accessing our webinar, you can watch to our YouTube chat instead. Famsi will present his talk for about 2 hours, and there will be Q&A section after his talk. So if you have any question, you can either type in the chat box or ask the question directly to Famsi. So without further ado, please welcome Fancy, and the time is yours, Fancy.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne, for the great introduction. Salamat pagi, I believe that is good morning. Thanks to Google Translator for giving me a proper translation in your language. And good morning, everyone, and good evening to me. It's 6 p.m. here in Seattle. So already Wayne introduced me about me. Just I would like to go through a couple of more details. So yeah, I will start with my education details. I started, I did my 4 years bachelor degree in computer science from JNTU Kakinada, which is in India. And then after that, I worked for IBM India for a couple of years, like a application developer and in one of the management role. And after 2 years, I came to United States and I did my master's in computer science for a couple of years. And post that, I worked at Tachyon, Microsoft, and Nissan. I'm into multiple roles, mostly related to data analytics, subject matter expert, and providing enterprise architectures, and mostly managing teams and building IT products. And currently, I'm working at Boeing as a certified product owner and a product management role, and it's a hybrid role. So what I do is I talk to customers and I talk to development teams, and I try to build a quality product for people So I mean, all of my roles are related to IT products. So it is not like I mean, I don't do any manufacturing work or something. It's a purely IT related work. So today agenda would be I'll be discussing about three items. So first thing would be data analytics in action at enterprise. And this topic is I'm not going to go in theory or any related concepts with that, but most likely like how data analytics is used in enterprise and how we build pipelines and what kind of analytics we bring out of a uh, lot of data systems. And second topic would be on how to build career in IT. So how any person with zero knowledge or with minimum bare skills, like how we can build his career in IT. And the third topic would be how we build IT systems in enterprise. So this is where like I would like to go with some use case, like how we build and how we start from scratch to building a industry, I mean enterprise quality software system. So most likely, uh, this presentation would run for 2 hours, and after 1 hour, we can have a break for 10 minutes. Most likely, if I remember, I mean, if I forget about the break, you guys can remind me on that. So okay, let's get started with the data analytics in action at enterprise. So I mean, this is the quote which I like most. I mean, this is data is the new oil, which is coined by mathematician Clive Humby in 2006. Sorry for that. And basically, this quote have a lot of inner meanings. So in 2006, when Clive Humby told data is the new oil, so most of us know during that time, whichever the countries have crude oil, they are like economically very strong, especially few countries in Middle East and few countries in North America. So when we are able to extract all the products from crude oil, like it makes more value. So out of crude oil, we'll get petrol, diesel, or kerosene, and a lot of byproducts, even chemicals. So in the same meaning, like Clive Humby predicted that data is going to be a new economic boom. In 2006, he told it's almost 14 years or 15 years. That is really true now because, like, I mean, right now, who are the companies have better analytics and who, I mean, especially the tech companies, the Google, Facebook, or Apple, all those companies have better analytics and they're able to rule the world. So I'll start with how we do analytics at any enterprise. So I'll try to go with some use case scenario. So we call it as, I mean, we what we did in Microsoft. So Microsoft have a consulting service unit. So I will try to explain what is Microsoft Consulting Services and what is their business concept and how we extracted analytics from there. So if you look into Microsoft website, so here are the products Microsoft have. Like Microsoft have primarily Windows products, Office products, apps, and Microsoft Azure. So what Microsoft Consulting division do is like whenever they introduce a new product or whenever they have a new version of product, they consult all the clients. Here the client means the companies, whoever using the Microsoft products. So like let us say Udayana University have Office 365, or let us say Udayana University have Windows 7 systems. So Microsoft will reach out to Udayana University and they will propose some deal saying like, we are going to upgrade your system and these are the benefits you are going to get out of it. So like, throughout Microsoft, we have all these apps and we have Microsoft Consulting Division, which take care of these product launches as well as product implementations. Okay. So if I go back to the slide again, so if you see here, like I clearly mentioned about MCS delivers technical consulting engagement, helps customers to create a new solution, technology deployments and optimizations or upgrade an existing service. So, they're going to upgrade the existing service or they're going to deploy new services and provide Microsoft expertise and best practice knowledge. So they will provide with some resource who are technical architects or who are technical experts who can help improve the organizational performance. And also MCS also contain enterprise strategy and which comprise of enterprise architects who work with customer CIOs. CIOs is nothing but chief information officers. Like every organizations will have a CIO and CTO. So they will hold the enterprise architecture and they run that, like how they're going to release the product and what should be their software stack for entire year or maybe 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line. So I mean, this is the way. I mean, how the MCS business process works is it's a different. So I mean, you can think. I mean, this is a generic process for all the companies, like who are dealing with the projects. So let us say forget about Microsoft for a while. Let us think a construction project. So a construction company will be doing a lot of construction projects. So they will be building multiple buildings in a city. Let's assume like each project will have some specific funds and they will sell it to some buyers, whether it is a commercial buyer or residential buyer. And then like it involves everything, right? Like start with some bargaining, and then it will go with construction, and then there will be a sales team to handle it, and then like whoever buying that property, they're going to make a payment. So that is the entire flow for a construction company. Similar way, like any even it is a tech company or normal company, they will have this similar kind of process. So I'll try to walk through on the business process so that you guys will understand how exactly this entire process works. And out of this, like what value we are going to bring using data analytics. Okay. So if you see, like the first step is going to be offer management, as I previously shown on their website. So the offer management screen will have all the portfolio offerings. So it will have like what are the products Microsoft offering. So this will be a transactional system, like where multiple people will be working, and they will be providing and they will be creating these offerings. And the second thing is like account management. So account management will be have two or three variations of customers. So it will have either the existing customer or the potentially new customers. So let us say Udayana University might be using Windows products or Microsoft products. They always they already, I mean, they already using their products, so we consider them as a uh, like existing customers. So let us think some XYG university wanted to introduce or introduce the Office tech. So at that time, like we call them as a new customer. So once we get this, like we'll have a deal management, so deal signing and contract assembly. So here, like we'll have a lot of sales people. So they will reach out to that company. So let us think in if I continue with my previous example. So let us say one Microsoft sales manager will reach out to Udayana University chief information officer, and he will give a deal. Like he will combine two or three products. So what he's going to do is like he will tell if you take Windows 10, we will be offering my Windows, I mean, the Office 365 for 2 years free or 3 years free. And then we will be giving free upgrades. And I mean, based on the client and their potentials, like they're going to give that deal management. And once the deal is done, it will consider, I mean, it will start it as a delivery management. So we call it as a sales delivery. Sales order will start here. So the deal is confined, and now they will plan for delivery, like how they're going to do the migration, or they're going to how they're going to implement that new technology. For once this plan is ready, then we need to have resource management. So we need to assign some resource, like how many technology architects I needed to perform that project, and how many people we need to we can send it from Microsoft or Microsoft partners who did the implementations. And like that, we'll have all the resource management here. And then we'll have a labor management, labor and time and expense management. So whenever these people work on any activity, they are going to, I mean, they'll have timesheets. I think most of the professors or who are working in any employment, they submit a timesheet. So similar way here, they're going to submit the timesheets as well as the expense management. So whenever they travel or whenever they're using any, I mean, whenever they're going on a business trip, they're going to submit all the travel things, travel related expenses. So once that is submitted, And then finally we'll get into the finance, like so how much money we are getting from the client. So Udayana University will say like we are going to pay $1 million to Microsoft as a entire deal. And out of that, like Microsoft managers will see how much we are going to spend for this project. So let us say, I mean, anyone work for, I mean, any company or most of us work for the profit, right? So at the end, like we will see how much profit we are going to make. So, I mean, through this entire process, right? Like, let us say this entire deal worth of 1 million, and maybe after all this cost and expense management and everything, maybe Microsoft will get some 10%, like 100K. So these are the process steps, and the last step is going to be business insights. So here, where like we are going to do the reporting analytics to improvise these areas. So I mean, first 6 or 7 steps are related to the transactional systems. So I mean, each step, I mean, we when I was working in Microsoft, we have like around 37 systems to handle entire flow, and we do the analytics. So what kind of analytics we do? So these are the business goals. Like I mean, as I mentioned, the entire uh, the entire scope for this data analytics is going to be how we are going to help the managers to predict the project profitability and how they can effectively produce how can they effectively produce a new work, or how they are going to make a good profit. So in the entire process, these are the key reports we used to work on. So we call it as new work sold. So whenever we reach to client, how many new engagements we are going to do. So let us say if I continue with my previous example. So whenever a Microsoft sales manager or sales director reach out to Udayana University chief information officer, so at that time, like maybe he will propose new things. So instead of only upgrading the existing things for free, he will tell like, okay, we'll give some Microsoft Azure service for free, or Teams, Microsoft Teams for free, which is a communication messenger. And similar way, like MCS budgets and forecasts and actuals, that is another report we used to generate. So this will give like how much we are going to spend for the project, and how much we are going to make out of it, and the MCS profitability. So this is like mostly the predictive analytics we use. So we used to predict like we'll make this much profit in next 4 months or next 1 year. Accordingly, we'll change the plans. And resource and demand and supply. So if I go back to the previous step, right, here I mentioned about the resource management. So to implement any project, we would be needing labor. Labor means like it's a generic term, but here we need some suppliers, or who is going to work on the servers. It's going to be mostly software developers who is going to work on that. So we need to find out like whether we have enough resource to work on the projects, like which are in pipeline or in the future pipeline. Like I mean, somehow, let us say, if I make a agreement with a company, and if I don't have enough resource to work on that, so that is going to cost the company in a big way, because like that is a break of trust. Like we cannot make anything. I mean, we cannot have a good relation with the client. So this report will do that predictions. It is going to get how many resources are available in bench, and how many projects we can take, and how many people we can supply for that. Then we have MCS utilization. So this is another scenario for the resource. Like we will see how many days, I mean, how many work hours a specific resource is working. Let us say myself, if I'm working 40 hours. So if I'm not going to work for next 2 months, my utilization will be low. So this is going to help us how a resource is doing, and how he's generating billing for the project. And then when we have a task management planned hours report. So here what we do is like we usually go to each task. So let us say if I'm upgrading Udayana University email client, so which is from Outlook to Office 365. So that involves some money, 8 hours, or I'm working 120 hours in a month. So accordingly, we are going to get money from Udayana University on this. And these two are dashboards, like it is at a high level which will tell us how the delivery is going on or how the operations are going on. So it will give some indications whether the project is in red, green, or yellow. So if it is red means like we need to take more caution, and if it is yellow means like we need to talk to resource and we need to make sure it is working fine. So this is how like at a company level or whether it is enterprise level will handle analytics. So I mean, as I mentioned, it is not just for Microsoft. Like any other company, if you take a construction company or anyone who is working on any projects, so they'll be more interested in this, like how we are going to generate analytics or metrics out of it, and how we are going to generate business value out of it. So based on these reports, the higher management, let us say the executives or the company CEOs, CTOs, they're going to make their assessment and they will drive their company growth. So in Microsoft, like when we are working, we used to have three kinds of analytics buckets. So like I mean, as I mentioned, some of the reports are very critical. So that is where we have three buckets. So one thing is we call it as real-time analytics, and I mean at a broader level we have three things. So real-time analytics, near real-time analytics, and non-real-time analytics. So real-time analytics is which whenever the user or executive clicking on the report, that report should be up to date and it should be generated under 1 minute. So usually the enterprise systems are more complex. So these things are going to cost too much. Like we need to have premier hardware or we need to have premier pipelines. I'm going to show how we do these kind of things at an enterprise level. And there are, I mean, these are mostly related to the timesheet submission, or like if you need to get anything on utilization at this point, like we are going to, we are going to divide them as real-time analytics. The next one is near real-time analytics, like which is between 1 minute to 5 minutes. It is not 5 minutes, and it's actually 15 minutes. Sorry for that. So, I mean, these are going to be somewhat critical, and non-real-time analytics, like which are more than 15 minutes, like if the report is taking 15 minutes to generate, so we call it as non-real-time analytics. So these are mostly related to quarterly results or financial things. So based on this, like we decide what kind of data pipelines we need and what kind of softwares we are going to use or what kind of resource we are going to use. And I mean, this is another area where I mean, when we are building a new enterprise analytics, I mean, these, whatever the categories or criteria mentioned here, these are not only specific to a data analytics system, but it is valid to all the systems. Like whenever we are building any IT product, we usually go through this kind of criteria. It depends on the organization. I mean, this criteria list might change and the category list might change. So we usually look into development. So we'll see like whether if you are trying to build a new system, if you're trying to choose a technology, whether we have developers who are available to do that. And as well as like if we are using the previous teams or previous developers like who are existing in the my company, whether they can easily learn it and whether they are going to work on this one. And second is like how easy to build it and whether we can build it in parallel. Those kind of criteria we are going to check. And other areas, right? Like if you see here, these are specific to data analytics, like how much it is cost to do the data acquisition. If there is any existing reports or existing data, how we are going to do the migration, and how after we build some data layer, how the data distribution is going to be possible. And on top of it, like we see, is it easy to report on that, and how we are going to have the cost for it, like how much it is going to cost, like whether we are going to use in-house technologies or whether we are going to use open source technologies or whether we are going to buy the license costs and build it. And we will see the infrastructure technology. So whether this can be hosted on cloud versus on-premise. And at the end, like we'll see the performance and scalability, and we'll see the data governance. Yeah, these are very high level terms, like how we do it. Can you guys hear me? Or
Yes, we can.
are you
Sometimes.
able to see my screen, or like did you guys lost my?
Uh, so you have problem with the PowerPoint, Vamsi?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, you guys are able to see my screen, or like which
No,
screen
Yes,
you
we
are?
can see your screen.
Okay, okay. Is it like screen number 10? Factors contributing solutions.
Uh,
not
we
phone, not
We
phone.
don't see your screen on the screen number 10. This is still
this is still
the,
your browser. Yeah.
Yeah.
this is still Azure board.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Already done.
Oh, can you guys
Yes,
see it
we
now?
can see it. Yes.
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, look like there was some. I think I pressed some pause or something. That's where I believe like you guys are not able to see my screen. Yeah, maybe I will try to go back to my previous screens. So I'm here, like I was talking about how we do the business process. I mean, I was explaining about offer management, account management, and deal management. I mean, this is how we do business process. I mean, how the Microsoft Consulting Services business works. And I have discussed about business goals, like what is new work sold and what we did. I mean, what kind of key reports we generate out of the data we acquire. And I talked about the analytics latency expectations, like we set a expectation for each report, like by what time we need to generate, like whether it is under 1 minute or 1 to 15 minute or 15 minutes. And after that, like I talked a few things about factors contributing solutions, like while building any analytic solutions, what are the key factors we consider? So if you see here, like I talked about the development cost and data acquisition cost and migration or data distribution and reporting cost and all these things. So whiteboard presentation. So if I go back, like I was talking about three latency expectations, right? Like how the real-time analytics work and how non-real-time, I mean, near real-time analytics work and how non-real-time analytics work. So let me change my screen to my surface. My Microsoft whiteboard.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, cool.
Yes, we
So
can see your whiteboard.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Here, like I was talking about we have around 37 systems in Microsoft Consulting Unit. So what we do is like here you can see I'm calling them as source one, source two, source three. So like that, like we have 37 sources. Like all those are transactional systems. So what we did was like we pulled all the data and we created a data lake. We call it as Agile Data Lake, and which is hosted on cloud. What we are doing here is like we are pulling all the required data from multiple sources and we are placing it in a single bucket. So basically, this is at an enterprise level. Enterprise level is like company level, and we don't have data dependencies, and we don't really into multiple areas. So we'll have a single fact, and we'll have single source to work on. So now, if I go back to the three buckets I was talking, right? Real time, non-real time, near real time. So in that scenario, we'll try to see what kind of report is falling under. So on this thing, like there will be data engineers working on it, and there will be data analytics report people will be working on it, and there are data scientists who will be doing that, and we are creating one more layer called self-service reporting area. So let us say if I wanted any real-time report. So as I mentioned, like real-time report is less than 1 minute. So we will have that report like this. So the report will have multiple metrics or key values. So let us think like how I'm going to calculate each key value or each metric. So based on this, like we are going to configure these services. So let us think like I have report one, and report one is a real-time report, and it is coming from 5 systems. So let us think like I have that is coming from source one, source seven, source nine, I mean something like that. So I need to build a pipeline, like it should be replicating in real time. So it should be going like every 1 minute it is going to copy the data from transaction system, and it is going to copy to the data lake cloud. So it is going to be, I mean, first time we will have a full load. What is full load is like we'll copy the entire database and we'll hold it on data lake. Whenever there is a new change is coming, so we will compare the both the things and we'll try to we'll try to get only delta results. So delta sources is like what are the differences we have from the main versus whatever I have on the data lake. And on top of it, like from here, I mean, people will be creating their own data warehouse. So let us think like there will be a team who works on, especially on real-time reports. So those people are going to build their own operational data source or operational data warehouse. And operational data warehouse, there will be a reporting consultant or reporting analyst. He will be doing those are like I mean, just like the dashboards or something like that. And we have data scientists. So the data scientists are a bit special. I mean, previously we don't have data scientists or something like that. But in recent years, like especially starting from 2014 or 2015 time, so there is more buzz on data scientists. These people are from mostly from math background. So what these data scientists will do is like, I mean, they know both computer science knowledge and mathematics science knowledge, so algorithms and everything. So they will look into the data. So I mean, they know how to analyze the data, and they will see which algorithm to be applied on the data, and they're going to bring a value from out of it. So they will create a report which is more useful for a CTO or CEO to make a dynamic business decision. So let us think in Microsoft example, let us think like you want to sell more items. So these people will look into the data analytics part, and the data scientist, or he will use some algorithm using Python or R language or even Scala, and he's going to tell which report is more useful to make that kind of business decision. So that is where like nowadays, especially who are coming from math background, they're able to build a better tools and better analytics in the enterprise data analytics field. Thing we have is self-service reporting. This is also getting more popular. So previously, it used to be like we'll have a predefined reports. So I mean we'll be giving it to business users saying like, okay, this is your sales report, or uh, this is your profit report or something like that. So nowadays, like what people are expecting is like we will give a layer to them. So they are going to play with that. So what they will do is in the report. So what they are going to do is like they're going to check that, and they're going to write their own queries, or they're going to. I mean, those queries are not complex to be a. I mean, you don't need like a software knowledge or something to write those, but it is going to be more of like just people go ahead and report, and they can generate more value out of it. So, I mean, this is how we actually work on it. So, if we look into this entire process, right? So, let me go back to my screen, and I will tell you like how many people are uh, involved in entire process.